It's early Friday morning and I'm at my local railway station, Holwell Park in Bath. And I'm just getting an early morning train down to Bridgewater in Somerset. I'm going to be riding a 100-kilometre orbit of city of Taunton, Somerset's capital. I'm going to be visiting 4 thankful villages today. Somerset has 9 thankful villages, more than any other county in the UK. It's coming up. It's just gone 8 AM and I've arrived at Bridgewater. My route today is about 68.5 miles. It basically does a big orbit of Taunton in this sort of square shape, and you'll see from the diagram it works out quite well. There's each of the 4 thankful villages are pretty much on each of the 4 corners. It's just a case of firing up the Garmin and then getting myself out of Bridgewater on some nice quiet roads. As usual with the circuit, I'm trying to work out which way I'm heading to start with. You may see from the Garmin's. Yeah, it looks like this is the right direction. Coming up to 3 miles from the station, we now pretty much left the outskirts of Bridgewater, and I've just seen a sign back behind me, 5 miles to Aisholt, the first of the thankful villages. As you can see, we're just about to enter the Quantock Hills area of outstanding natural beauty at Stocklinch, and then later around about lunchtime, early afternoon, we'll be going up onto the higher Blackdown hills. Just drop down, run alongside one of these big reservoirs. There's a couple of them actually that are taking all the water off the Quantock Hills. Quick little experiment as we run alongside this reservoir. Just try filming on the go with the new Sony camera, the vlogging camera, just to see what the stabilisation's like. This is testing the stabilisation on a selfie stick with a forward view. Three-quarters of a mile from Aisholt. Oh, this is lovely. Right at the bottom of the wooded Quantocks. Approaching Aisholt. Oh, it really is down in a big dip. Then you've got to do a short, sharp climb up to what looks like some pastel-y coloured buildings. Well, we're at Aisholt, the first of today's 4 thankful villages. You can probably tell by my breath, it's quite steep round here. Very wooded in the foothills of the Quantocks. See the big hill line, tree line up there. We came down a very steep hill, and as you enter the village you see these pastel coloured cottages, and it still carries on up past Hunter's Moon. But I just spotted a churchyard on my left hand side and I stopped and look, there it is. So let's pop in there and have a look. This is All Saints Aisholt. Oh, what a beautiful place. Look at the lovely setting, this really steeply wooded bowl almost at the foot of the Quantock Hills. Right, moment of truth, can we get in? Oh yes, it's open. Oh, musty smell straight away. Greeted by a chest and a table full of visitor information. Oh, there's the font. Plaques. Oh, just spotted it there, over there. Here we are. There's this lovely plaque from this village. For those of you who haven't seen my videos about thankful villages before, when I first started visiting them only last year, I noticed straight away there were these slate plaques, and every village seems to have one. I tried to locate them, not always successfully. The few times I haven't located them, the churches have always been locked, so the obvious assumption is they must be inside the churches, but they're not always in churches. Sometimes they're in, say, on a village green or on a stone set underneath a tree. So the church is the first point of call I always come to, because that's the most likely location. So I'm going to get my poppy shortly and put it there. This really is lovely here, set in this beautiful location in the fold, or almost like a bowl of really steeply wooded hills. It's like coming in from some of the windows at the back, plain glass with the diagonal reinforcements, but it's also quite dark in places because of the stained glass. So it's a nice mix of both. I've just been to my bike and got my little stuff bag full of poppies. These are the knitted poppies my wife has made me, so there's 4 for today. I'm going to take that in and put that on slate black. As you can see, they've got long green strands and a leaf, so I always try and hook them over things rather than tie them. So that's what I'm going to do at the corner, as long as it doesn't obscure anything. There, just literally hooked over the corner of the slate. It's not obscuring anything, and it can be easily removed if anybody really doesn't want that there. Above the plaque is the names of all the soldiers who went off to serve and return safely alive. I've just made a donation there. I need to stop in a village and get some change. Actually, I'm a little bit short. That lovely old antique trunk there, all the parish magazines on, and some local books of interest and postcards, the font there. I've just signed the visitors book as well, put some comments in there about what I'm doing today. You never know, it might spark other people's interest. And there's the plaque over there with my poppy. Right, onwards to the next thankful village. It was quite a climb out of Aisholt until you got to a summit, and then a very fast drop down to Bishop's Lydia. Just crossed the Taunton Road, and now we're just crossing the West Somerset Railway. This is the furthest point north it runs at the moment. That runs right down to Minehead Seafront. Anyway, onwards to our next thankful village, Holwell Lake. Okay, I'm at 21 miles and I'm homing in on my second thankful village. Holwell Lake is now become very rolling again, and we're about a mile from Holwell Lake, but I'm turning off right and detouring to Thorne St Margaret first of all, up here. And the reason for that is I can go up to Thorne St Margaret, do a loop and come into Holwell Lake further down this road. And the reason I'm doing that is because a website, which I'll share with you when I get there, says that Holwell Lake does not have its own church. It's served by the church at Thorne St Margaret. So who knows, the plaque may be up there. I just simply don't know, but I don't want to miss this opportunity to go up there and just see for myself. This is not an unpleasant detour. It's a bit of a pull up onto a ridge. Very nice and quiet though. This is the small little hamlet of Thorne St Margaret, and this is St Margaret's Church. I read then on the Hellfire Corner website that this church also serves Holwell Lake, which is down in the dip. In the distance you can probably see, if I zoom in, that's what's coming our way this afternoon, the Blackdown Hills. But anyway, back to the present. Let's see if we can go in here. Who knows, the plaque may be in here, I simply don't know. Well, it's open. Stone pulpit. Lovely architecture of the roof. Barn-like. Like the last one, really, a mix of plain glass flooding it with light. And that quite dark stained window there. Anyway, let's have a look. Don't think so. And my instinct was it wouldn't be here, but as I said, I'm just not sure, so I would not be happy passing here and not knowing. Put some money in, a couple of quid, and sign the visitor's book. Happy to donate here. Well, firstly because it's a lovely church, and secondly I just know there's no church down at Holwell Lake, so I've had a good look round and I just don't think the plaque is here. As in the last church, I'm the first person here for over a week. Today's the 4th of August. Last visitor who signed the book anyway was 23rd of July. Hope this gives you an idea of what I've done. So that's my route. And it's only after I'd made it, I read about Thorne St Margaret. As soon as I crossed the bridge there, back there, I realised that was my turn. So I've come up here just to check the church out. So I need to go along and take my next right hand turn and rejoin the route. And that'd be Holwell Lake there. Doesn't the postcard look lovely? The church on what looks like a real crisp winter's day, but the roof's still covered in snow. That's lovely. This is just such a gorgeous route. It's one I literally just linked 4 villages and the railway station up with and let the computer construct it. Sometimes that's just the best way. Looks like we're actually coming into Holwell Lake. Yeah, looking at the Garmin, we're just about to rejoin the route. Back on course. I came in from that way, from Thorne St Margaret, joined this road, right by the Holwell pub, by the telephone box and notice board. As I said, there's no church here, so I thought have a look round about here. And there it is, in this little village communal area in the back of the pub. Holwell Lake, 1914 to 2014, thankful village. These geraniums either side of it, so there's going to be a poppy to add to it very, very shortly. So there it is, geraniums either side. And again, just threaded over, that'll come away quite easily. Soon after leaving Holwell Lake, I came into this small town called Rockwell Green, and there's these 2 very distinctive what looked like water towers. A brick structure looked very Victorian, and right next to it a more modern utilitarian looking concrete structure, and it's right next to the church, and I homed in on the church thinking that may be a good spot for my lunch. So this is All Saints Church, Rockwell Green, so at least I now know what village I'm in. I'm going to have a wander around, see if I can get some views of those towers, and also see if there's a seat in the churchyard, whether I can sit and have my lunch. This does feel quite a quirky little place, and as I leave, look at the view. Looking right up onto the Wellington Monument on the Blackdowns. Many people driving down the M5 will have spotted that high up on the hill. That's where we're heading. Very grassy verges now as we make our way to the foot of the Blackdown Hills. I've just come in on this quiet lane long here. I'm just about to join this main road here, heading up onto Blackdown Hills. But before I do that, I'm going to park myself on that seat over there and have a spot of lunch, gather my strength. Nearing the summit, I can see on the GPS we're going to join a very straight line which runs along the top of the ridge. Up on the Blackdown Hills, very straight road. It's got all the attributes of an old Roman road. I'm not sure if it is, but it's very straight and it's running along the top of high ground, classic Roman road. descending off the Blackdown hills. After a few miles along the top of the Blackdown hills, that would be west to east, we're now dropping down quite steeply. Very high hedgerows, so I'm struggling to get any views. Try and zoom in. That's what we're heading down onto. About 6 miles from our third thankful village of the day. Luckily I just stopped here and I thought, well, it's about the only chance I've got of a view, and I heard this roar coming up and the tractor pulling a trailer with a JCB on the back, sort of like only just got by. He gave me a wave to thank me. This leg, having dropped off the Blackdown hills on this B road, skirting around Ilminster, has been really fast. I'm just turning off right now and you can see there's a sign for Stocklinch, 3/4 mile. We're just coming into Stocklinch, but we're going to do a little dog leg. I think this shows it quite well. In effect, we're carrying straight on, but we need to go off to the right. I've routed that up to what I think is the church, and then we'll come back and carry on that way. There's 2 parish churches here, believe it or not, and according to the Hellfire Corner website, the reason being is because Stocklinch is actually an amalgamation of several local hamlets, and 2 of those hamlets had a church in. So this small village, or a collection of hamlets should I say, has got 2 parish churches. So I always head towards the church first of all. I may be heading towards 2 churches and then still looking for the plaque. Anyway, let's see. First of all, down the dog leg down there to the right. I ended my Garmin route there. It's literally just pinged and I thought, I don't remember it ending it at the village hall. I thought it ended it at the church, and I had, look at this. This is easy to miss, that's for sure. I street viewed it, so I knew it was here, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite as overgrown and remote looking. Oh, this is wonderful. Just all through this long grass through the churchyard. It's very remote and small church. I'm actually heading for the porch over there. I think this is the right way. Oh no, I think that's the back of the church, so I probably should have gone that way. Just realised what I've done. That was a footpath along there. There's the main entrance to the church. I've just been a bit more patient and gone a bit further. Ah, this is more like it. There's a nice seat there as well. And here's the porch. Yeah. My apologies to the people of Stocklinch. It's not quite as overgrown as I thought. That's actually a footpath up there. You can see. If I just come along a bit further, here's the church path. And the porch, let's see if we can get in. I was saying there's 2 churches in this village, or collection of villages. There's St Mary Magdalene and St Mary. No, I don't know which one this is. I'm sure it'll tell us somewhere here. There's a file there with lots of information about thankful villages. Gosh, all local stories there by the look of it. And here's the church. Oh, this is really nice. That mezzanine up there. Donation box, I'll come back for that. Wow, look how high the pulpit is, gosh. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Find it. It's set on this really nice wooden plinth. Of the 54 thankful villages in England and Wales, sadly Scotland and Ireland don't have any, 14 of those thankful villages are also known as doubly thankful villages, which means that everybody who went off to serve in the First and the Second World Wars returned home safely. Stocklinch is one of those 14s, as was referred to on that plaque outside the village hall. I don't always go up into pulpits. If it just doesn't feel right, I don't do it. Certainly if there's anything being put in the way, but this one's so high, I just want to sort of have a look and see what it's like. Gosh, this is very high up, and it's got one of those envelopes above. I believe that's to help project the sound across to the congregation, whether that's for people of higher status up there. This is really high pulpit. I don't think I've ever seen one as high as this before. Gosh, you're up the same height as the lights look. Gosh. I put this ride together really quickly this week, so it didn't give me a lot of time to research or memorise exactly where all the churches were. So to aid my Garmin breadcrumb trail navigation, if I tap the Ride GPS app, that's how I plan my routes. And if I just quickly swipe down to today's route, there we are, 4 thankful villages. You can see it's roughly a square. Now if I tap the layers icon there, you can see it'll allow me to add all different sorts of things. So if I put distance markers there, you can see got a red boundary on it now, and that'll be in miles. You can do kilometres if you want, I choose miles. Now if I zoom in, you'll see it's got all the distance markers, which is why, say for instance, that was Holwell Lake, I knew it was round about 22.25 miles. And I knew this one was around about 43. So all I do at each village is just look at the next one to let me know what's coming and when. There you go, look, Stocklinch. My last one's going to be Chaffcombe. We're heading north now over the Somerset levels, and that's going to be what, look, 59 miles, just a shade under. So that's a little hack that I've used today, and I use it quite often when I just can't remember exactly what I'm heading for or where, so it just sort of reminds me really. Anyway, next one, Chaffcombe, 59 miles. Okay, let's have a wander around the churchyard. Lovely, hear the breeze in the trees. Oh gosh, there's some apple trees right in front of me, that's what I'm heading for. I've just had a look at my phone and it's 3:30. Now the arrangement I've got with my wife is I got an early train, and I sort of said I'll try and sort of get a 4 o'clock train home. Well, that's clearly not going to happen. She said to me, just don't rush, because you'll only regret it if you try and rush around them. And it's actually been quite a hilly, hard ride actually. And so she said, just wait until rush hour's gone and get a 6 or 7 o'clock train home. And so that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Got all these apples on these apple trees. Somerset cider. And that's the church. Still don't know which one this is, whether it's St Mary's or St Mary Magdalene. I'll go down, when I leave, I'll actually go out through the proper gate that I should have come in. So it should tell me down there which church this is. How terrible is that? I don't even know what church I'm in. Water back there. I may be imagining this, but I wonder if this was a separate entrance for that mezzanine, the higher level, so the people of importance possibly had their own entrance. I'm just guessing here, I just don't know, but it's very raw. As you can see, there's farms there. Beautiful place though. Gosh, this is really, really nice. It's that lovely South Somerset sandstone. Gosh, look at all the bell wheels up the top there. Wow. All the grooves where the cables probably go through. I did say on my last video the next video or two would be camping ones, and I'm hopefully the next couple will be. The reason I ad hoc'd this one was because, well, what happened was I follow the church's conservation trust on social media, and I'm also signed up to their newsletter. It said in that newsletter and on the social media post there's some new tramping churches, and I thought, oh, my ears pricked up a little bit, especially when it sort of said Somerset, and there was a link to it, and I pressed it, and it was down there, Ilchester, funny enough, not far from here. Of course, when I Google mapped it, all the thankful villages popped up, and I thought, oh gosh, there's a load round there. I could maybe include it in a thankful village and a tramping mini cycle tour. And I just thought, why not just get the train down to Bridgewater and ride it, and then maybe come down here later in the year. So hence for today, I was going to come up on my bike today anyway. As I said last week, I'm trying to rebuild my fitness, so today I feel fine so far. Actually, it's coming back quickly, and I'm just absolutely loving this, really loving it. I've said it so many times before, but if you give your rides a theme, it just adds so much more of a dimension to it. Anyway, I suppose I'd better start thinking about moving, making my way up to Shapwick, the fourth and final of today's 4 thankful villages. Mystery solved. Church of England, St Mary Magdalene, Stocklinch. And there it is, that's the entrance I should have come in. Looks even better this way. That is really nice coming in there. Looking over going, oh what a beautiful view. Wow, look, you can really see the bells there on their wheels. Let's see if I can zoom in. Wow. Just imagine those wheels turning out and bells going. Somerset at its very best. Wow. On the Polden Hills now, passing through Langport. Down off Pedwell Hill, and then this is the village of Shapwick, and then this crossroads here, this is the last corner of our square, and that's the church we're looking for. I have been here before many times, but I came here to visit the church and locate the Thankful Village plaque, so that's what we're looking for. And you can maybe see from that, signpost, 9¼ miles into Bridgewater. I first saw this church on a John Betjeman film. He shot it in the 1960s, although I didn't see it until probably the 1980s. But he came here, and I've just loved this place ever since. Oh gosh, look at all the confetti from a recent wedding. Oh, that's really sweet. I've been here before actually, this church, but I didn't leave it properly. This is one of the ones that I'm revisiting, and I have just been in and turned all the lights on because it was quite dark. And there's a plaque over there. Kind of remembered this from last time. And there's also a roll of honour there. All the soldiers who went off to serve in the First World War returned safely alive. And there's the slate plaque, Shapwick, 1914 to 2014, Thankful Village. I'm just going to hang the fourth of today's poppies. And once again I've just threaded the stem round behind the plaque. So that's easily removable. Oh wow, look at that ceiling. Wow. You get the straight apex of the roof, and then almost like a tithe bar and all these curved semicircular structures. Wow. This is really nice. Another stone pulpit as well. Oh, look at that gorgeous stained glass window. I've put all the lights on, so I'll make sure I switch them all off before I go. Oh, look at that one as well. Wow. Somehow I'm not going to go up in that. So. Oh, look, there's a bell cord there. That ceiling is just a work of art. Oh, and the stained glass window, look. See if I can zoom in. Wow. Basically paralleling the A39 into Bridgewater. I've just crossed it and it's very busy. I'm sort of cutting the corner off. I've just come in from Shapwick, paralleling the A39 across the flats, and now the noise of the motorway and traffic is just overpowering. So I'm just about to join the A39 for the final 1.7 miles to the station. I was crossing over the motorway. There's even a cycle path to cross that. And then I'm going to head into town and look for a fish and chip shop, because I just want to be really relaxed. I could have rushed for a train, but I didn't want to. So my train I'm heading for now, the train I'm going for is 7:37, so I've got an hour to wait, so that gives me ample time to find a fish and chip shop and just get to the station, maybe eat it on the station and just relax. Crossing the M5 on the boundary of Bridgewater. Got my fish and chips. 0.3 miles to go. About 10 to 7 back at Bridgewater station. So I've just come in this way, got fish and chips about half a mile back in a carrier bag ready to eat on the platform. This morning when I left I went that way, so I've completed a great big circuit. It's been a fantastic day out, 71 miles eventually, so I'm getting my fitness back, but more than that it's just been a fantastic day. Anyway, going to have my tea on the station. Fish and chips on Bridgewater station while I wait for my train. Fantastic way to finish the day. It's about 8:15 now. I've just got off the train from Bridgewater to Bristol Temple Meads. Got about half an hour wait before a 10-minute train journey back to my local railway station, Holwell Park. So I'll wind the video up here, I think. It's been a fantastic day. As I referred to earlier on in the video, it's pretty much a midweek decision just to do this. I knew I wanted to get out and do a ride, but just today has been absolutely excellent. I really enjoyed the fish and chips on Bridgewater station as well. I got a load of lager in the fridge, so a pint of lager actually would be a fantastic end to a fantastic day. If you've got this far, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully the next one really will be a camping trip, unless anything else turns up in the meantime. Yeah.